I'm Christopher Zweig, and this week on CJ at the Movies, I review the Conjuring spin-off sequel, The Nun 2, the Chilean satire, El Conde, and the Netflix documentary, Scout's Honor. Let's take a look. Our first movie is The Nun 2, the sequel to the 2018 Conjuring spin-off, which I was mixed about, and I'm still mixed about the sequel. I mean, it has some good performances and great-looking production designs, but it doesn't conjure up the right story. It now takes place in France of 1956, and Tasia Farmiga reprises her role as the young nun Irene, who is called to investigate a series of murders, and collaborates with a younger and more rebellious nun played by Storm Reed.
The church would like you to investigate. Find out what it wants and where it's going next.
No.
I'm sorry?
I can't do it.
Can't or won't?
You don't know what happened at St. Carta. I was lucky to make it out alive.
You're right. I don't know what you faced back there. But in that abbey, sister, you performed a miracle. The church needs another.
As you know, she previously had to deal with a demonic nun, and it returns to take possession of her old friend Frenchie, played by Jonas Bluquet.
Sophie, what happened?
I think there's something here that's not meant to be.
What did you see?
I saw a nun.
The Nun 2 likes to rip off scenes from The Shining, Pan's Labyrinth, and even Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom if you look closely. It looks like a riveting horror film, but it has to be overshadowed by its boring story and typical jump scares. Again, I'm in the middle of this sequel, as I was with the original, because it has its nice qualities, but I still can't quite recommend it. Our next movie is El Conde, a Chilean satire that takes place in a parallel universe where dictator Augusto Pinochet is still alive, 250 years old to be exact, because he is a vampire who rips out people's hearts and sticks them inside blenders. James Vedel stars as Pinochet, who wishes he can finally die.
Yo no quiero vivir 250 años más.
¿Por qué no?
Porque me trataron de ladrón. Se le puede decir que es un asesino, pero no que es un ladrón.
¿Pero robaste o no?
The story is a hit and miss, with most of the hits coming from Pinochet's choices and his butler Fyodor, played by Alfredo Castro, who is worthy of his vampire powers, and the misses coming from his family, in which the wife is spiteful and his kids care more about his money than his immortality.
Si los matamos nosotros, vos vais a matar a 4 vampiros.
El Conde was directed by Pablo Larraín, whose credits also include No, Jackie, and Spencer, and while he doesn't have a perfect story here, he still makes the film look haunting with the black and white images and feel charming with how he depicts this dictator. It's wickedly entertaining with its choice of carnage and development, and it keeps you involved, so check it out. And our last movie is Scout's Honor, the made-for-Netflix documentary about how the Boy Scouts of America has covered up the fact that Scoutmasters have molested boys for decades. At the time, the institution believed these abuses were just small problems and never gave out warnings to parents or future Scouts. In fact, evidence was withheld by law enforcers. But as time moved forward, the message finally came out to people.
The Boy Scouts of America did not abuse these kids. We had some bad people that got in. Well, there's no way to profile them ahead of time and to identify people ahead of time.
Like, that's bull. One of the things that they had in their marketing messaging is the Boy Scouts has a rigorous application and screening process. And it's not true. It's never been true.
Scout's Honor gets complicated within the story, but it does open our eyes and reminds us on how boys can still be violated, whether they're in the woods or churches or anywhere for that matter. It's horrifying when we acknowledge how Scoutmasters would do something as damaging to these innocent boys and threaten to take away their youth and spirits, and it speaks its mind with the right amount of emotions, and it gets really gritty and sad. So check it out, if you have the stomach, of course. Okay, recapping this week's new movies, thumbs down for The Nun 2, thumbs up for El Conde, and thumbs up for Scout's Honor. Well, those are the movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies. For more amazing content, please like and subscribe to my channels, and please read my reviews at cjatthemovies.com and download the new HD Radio app.